Okay, good afternoon everyone. I feel a bit like Basil Zemplis up here on television. We haven't done this before like this, but thank you everyone for coming tonight to our council meeting. My name's Dean Unsworth, CEO, and it is my privilege to be able to welcome you all tonight, and also to welcome JP David Nelson, who's going to be doing the formalities of swearing in. Thank you very much for coming along tonight. It's a very special night for councillors who have gone through the process of nominating for council and getting elected. I'm sure it's a pretty stressful sort of time to put yourself out there, and it's really pleasing to see that we have a full contingent of councillors once again. We were on 8 for a while, but we've got 9, and I want to congratulate firstly Douglas McClarty, who has been elected Shire President unopposed. So congratulations to you, Shire President. Also to Prue George, Councillor-elect, almost councillor. Stuart Kirkham, who rejoins us after 4 years. 8 years? 6 years. 6 years. Stuart Carter, 4 years, I know that. And also Jeff Black, who returns as well for a 2-year term. So congratulations to you all. It's a privilege to serve the community, and you have a big... Oh, I thought I did Rob. I was looking at you. And Rob Cashman, of course, who's joined us for a 4-year term as well. So congratulations. I now invite JP David Nelson to the lectern to commence the swearing-in ceremony.
Now it gives me a great honour to be here this afternoon to do this job, having been an old councillor myself for many years and a mayor in Kwinana. And I'm looking forward to, and as a ratepayer of the Murray Shire, I must add too. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to call forward John Douglas Gordon McClarty. You're a day ahead of you.
Yeah.
Right here. Oh, this is good. What the stamp is. And I assume you declare that you're going to do all the right thing by the council and by all of your ratepayers?
I am.
It gives me great pleasure just to say that he has signed the document. We'll accept that, I would believe. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. So I meant to read the declaration.
Yeah, you can read the declaration.
Okay. I, John Douglas Gordon McClarty of 214 McClarty Road, Mealon, having been elected to the office of Shire President of the Shire of Murray, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the Code of Conduct adopted by the Shire of Murray under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995. Thanks very much. Certainly. I think wants us to get a photo.
Oh, we've got to get a photo, have we? Wow. There you go. If I'd have known this, I'd put a good gear on.
Thank you.
Again. Right. Now, the next person is one of the coloured folk, and it's Jeffrey Harold Black. Date, 23rd. official stamp. I've been practicing this for a while.
Oh, it doesn't
Since
run out.
1967.
All right.
Yeah.
Now,
I'd like to state that Jeffrey Harold Black has now signed the document, and you're going to read the...
Yep.
Yep.
I, Jeffrey Harold Black of Ravenswood, have been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Murray. I declare I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the Shire of Murray under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995. Okay, at the front we go.
Yeah. And the next councillor I'd like to go forward is Stuart Carter. Just date it. Sign it. Give it the official. Now if you'd like to read that.
Sure. So I, Stuart Anthony Carter of 48 Kayap Road, South Yunnera, have been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Murray. I declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the Shire of Murray under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
Councillor-elects that are coming up, if you have any family here and would like a photo straight after your swearing-in ceremony, you're welcome to family come up after we have our photo. You can do a family photo.
Right. The next councillor is Robert Cashman. Just date and sign. 23rd. You do get on the prescription there, bro. You understand that? And then we'll get you to just read that.
I, Robert Trevor James Cashman of 20 Willow Gardens, South Yunnera, have been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Murray. Declare that I take office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the Shire of Murray under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
Councillor Cashman, stand to the right, come forward.
I'd like to now call forward Prue Victoria George. Date, 23rd today, and sign here on the bottom on that one.
Sure.
Very good.
I, Prue Victoria George of Hampton Road, Pinjarra, having been elected to the office of Councillor of the Shire of Murray, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly, and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the Shire of Murray under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
And I'd like to now call forward Stuart William Kirkham. Date 22 today.
I, Stuart William Kirkham of 742 Fisherman's Road, Coolup, having been elected to the office of Shire Councillor of the Shire of Murray, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability, and will observe the code of conduct adopted by the Shire of Murray under section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
Can't go yet because of choose a deputy.
That's right, yes. So I'll just get out of the way and you can do that and then I'll come back.
Okay, the next part of the meeting is allocation of seats. Every 2 years we reallocate seats, which is under our standing orders local law. And the way it works is Councillor Carter is in seat 1, Rogers 2, Black 3, Cashman 4. Kirkham at the moment is in seat 5, George 6, Lee 7, and we've got Councillor Willis 8. So whatever number you draw, you'll go to that seat for the next 2 years. So I will pick out a name, which will be seat 1. So, Councillor Stuart Carter is in seat 1.
We're not moving house.
Seat 2, Councillor Nicole Willis. Seat 3, you're joking.
Yeah.
Third time in a row, Councillor Jeff Black in the same seat. 3 elections in a row. That's unbelievable. Seat 4, Councillor Steve Lee. Seat 5, Councillor Rob Cashman. Seat 6, Councillor Stuart Kirkham. There's none left. Oh.
2.
Seat 7, Councillor Ange Rogers. And seat 8, Councillor Prue George. So they're the seating arrangements for the next 2 years. Yeah, may as well.
So if councillors could please realign their seating, that'd be good, thank you.
Thank you. Now I've just got to read this bit out. So call if there's any more.
I've got to do this section first. I've got to do the live stream declaration.
Oh, yes.
Can I, before I do that, can I do my welcome?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, councillors, it's my great pleasure to welcome everybody here. Certainly, we've got a full gallery, and welcome to all the members of the public. It's great to see so much interest in our meeting, and obviously there's an item that you are wanting to listen to. So, welcome. Thank you for coming. I certainly would like to congratulate and welcome back Councillor Black, Councillor Carter, Councillor Kirkham. Congratulations on your re-election, and welcome for the first time to Councillor Cashman, Councillor George. It's certainly the first time that I managed to get elected to this role unopposed before I've had to go through the same gruel that you guys have, and might I say I'm very, very humbled by the ability to have been elected unopposed, and I'm looking very much forward to the next 2 years working with this council and making sure we achieve great things for this Shire. So moving forward, as people will have seen when they walked in and signed in, the meeting is live streamed, and I do have to read a declaration in that vein. The Shire of Murray Ordinary Council meeting is being live streamed and recorded on the Shire's website in accordance with the Local Government Act 1995. Members of the public attending this meeting consent to the possibility that their image and voice may be captured on the recording and live streaming. Statements or decisions made at this meeting should not be relied or acted on by an applicant or any other person until they have received written notification from the Shire of Murray. So just if there's anybody in the gallery that is not happy to have their voice or person recorded, then now's your last chance to bolt. So that being done, we now go through the attendance, and as I've said, we have a full complement of council with two new councillors now sworn in. We have a full complement of executive staff, with the exception of Mr. Peake, who is on leave, and we have Mr. Delahunty stepping in for him as Acting Director of Planning and Sustainability. I now will throw back to the CEO, who is going to conduct the ballot for Deputy Shire President.
Thank you, Shire President. The Deputy President will be elected in accordance with the provisions of Clause 8, Section 2.3 of the Local Government Act 1995. The Deputy President is elected by members of the Council, and I as CEO am the returning officer for the purpose of the election. At this time, one nomination has been received and accepted by Councillor Ange Rogers. I now call for any other final nominations from the floor, if there are any. Okay, as there are not, I declare Councillor Ange Rogers has been elected unopposed to the office of the Deputy President for the Shire of Murray, with a term of office expiring 16th of October 2027. Congratulations, Deputy President Rogers. And you can now make your way up with David as JP to be sworn in as Deputy Shire President.
Now, what we're going to have to do, just put your full name and address on there. Okay. Yeah. They've already ticked it for you, aren't you? Lucky 23rd. Just sign it. Sign it. You're going to have to do is read that again. Hang on. Yeah, just a query, is she going to read that again?
No. I'm
Oh,
fresh.
you haven't read it before?
Hasn't been up
Oh,
yet.
right,
That was a test.
that was a tip. Oh, right, very good.
I, Angela Bridget Rogers of 431 Harts Road, Coolup, have been elected to the office of Deputy Shire President of the Shire of Murray. I declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly, faithfully, honestly and with integrity fulfil the duties of the office for the people in the district according to the best of my judgment and ability. And I will observe the Code of Conduct adopted by the Shire of Murray under Section 5.104 of the Local Government Act 1995.
You might be getting another photo taken.
Sure.
Congratulations.
You get in there.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to get out of the way, that might look like
One of us and then you two.
Now, do you want to be in the middle? You're the president.
All right, we'll swap it. I get the middle. We're getting good at it. Available, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Taking the time out of your day to come and help us with our Thank you very much. Congratulations, Councillor Rogers. You've done a very, very good job in the last 6 months as the Deputy President, and again, I look forward to working with you for the next 2 years. We move on now to item 4, which is response to previous public questions taken on notice. That is nil. We move to item 5, which is public question time. And I have some written questions here from Mr. Sean Spice. Is Mr. Spice with us in the gallery? No? Then what I will do is read the questions and then the CEO is going to read the answers. So question 1. The proposed scheme amendment number 333 seeks to introduce a reception centre, wedding venue, as an additional use into the current zoning of lot 9002. Could Council please explicitly state what the existing zoning of the lot is and table the specific objective planning criteria used to determine that a high traffic, high intensity use like a wedding venue is consistent with the primary intent and purpose of that zone? Furthermore, can Council explain how approving this spot rezoning for a single lot will not create an undesirable precedent, making it difficult to refuse similar applications on adjacent lots in the future, thereby fundamentally altering the character of the area? Now, I believe that the CEO has asked Mr. Delahunty to provide the answer.
Through you, Shire President. The lot is zoned special rural. The objective of this zone is to create a mixture of equestrian lots and rural residential lifestyle lots. The agenda report outlines in some detail that the impacts of this proposal are not consistent with this objective and that approval would set an undesirable precedent.
Thank you, Mr. Delahunty. Question number 2. The report for scheme amendment number 333 references a traffic impact assessment. Given that wedding events typically generate a high volume of vehicles in a short, concentrated time frame, for example, 50 to 100 cars arriving and departing within an hour, often during evening hours and on weekends, can Council confirm that the traffic assessment specifically modelled these worst-case scenario conditions, not just average daily traffic? Furthermore, has an independent assessment been conducted on the safety and adequacy of Hasluck Circuit, a local road, to handle such peak flows, including the potential for queuing cars to block the roadway? Again, Mr. Delahunty, please.
Through the Shire President. The traffic report modelled the likely traffic from a wedding event based upon the maximum number of guests. This sits within the capacity of the road network, which is up to 3,000 vehicles per day. The agenda report, however, acknowledges that, despite this, the intensity of traffic late at night is unexpected in a rural residential context and will have an unacceptable impact on the amenity of the area.
Thank you. Question 3. What specific enforceable conditions is Council proposing to include in the approval to mitigate the inevitable noise pollution from amplified music, large crowds and late night events to ensure compliance with the WA Environmental Protection Noise Regulations 1997? Can Council guarantee that these conditions will be effectively monitored and enforced, given the Shire's limited resources, and detail the complaint and penalty process for residents if breaches occur? Mr. Delahunty.
Through the Shire President. The agenda report recognises that the proposal relies on complex noise management strategies that would be extremely difficult to implement and monitor. Consequently, it is concluded that the land use is not appropriate for the location and refusal is recommended. Apologies. Should Council wish to support the proposal and if ultimately the proposal is signed off by the Minister for Planning, it's anticipated that conditions requiring strict adherence with the noise management strategies to ensure compliance with the environmental protection noise regulations would be required.
Thank you, Mr. Delahunty. So Mr. Spice, if he's watching online, will have received those answers and I hope that they are adequate for him. Moving on, I have several questions here from Ms. Abby Grenfell of North Dandalup. Ms. Grenfell, you've also asked for a deputation which comes up after public question time, which I need to put to the vote of council as it's late acceptance. Would you still like to ask your question, or would you like to go through to the deputation?
I don't need to ask questions. I'd like to go through the presentation, please.
Okay. Give that to you. Okay, so now we move on to Simone Thurkel, also of North Dandalup. If you would like to come to the lectern, please press the button so that the microphone is recording you. State your name, your address, and
Can I just say my questions have been answered with the previous question, and I'm happy to go there.
okay, so you don't wish to proceed, thank you. And I'm very sorry, my reading of the surname of this person, I'm not entirely sure. There's the final question that somebody's asked to be submitted. Whoever that is, you're welcome to come to the lectern and ask the question. Sorry, I can't read the writing. Is it Mr. Honoran? Yeah. So you're welcome to come to the lectern and read your question. Please state your name and your address. And
does it have to be the same question? Exactly the same?
it, in essence, whatever your question.
Haslak Circuit, which is a wedding venue, and I live there with my partner, and we are not married yet. And I just wonder, why is it a really big deal? And it's talking about like the character. What's the character of the North Dandalup? We all use mobile phones. We all use big screens of TVs. I mean, this venue is gonna provide lots of positivities to the community and lots of employment. I personally employ myself and then help the community. And I build limestone walls, like the wall behind you. And yeah, it's just, I don't really understand why actually people just making a big deal and putting bad submissions. Because you said about 56...
Mr. Honoran, I'm sorry, this is question time.
Yeah.
So I need you to ask a question
Okay.
for us to answer, because otherwise it's a deputation. So.
Yeah. First, just quickly, 100 cars is wrong. It's a maximum people that in that wedding is going to be 100 people. 100 cars is wrong. And traffic management is wrong. We live in a cul-de-sac. Our next neighbour has got a 20...
I do need a question, otherwise I'm going to have to ask you to take your seat.
Okay.
So please ask a question.
Oh, no, that's okay. I don't need to ask a question, then I'll take a seat.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
No
thank
worries.
you.
Thank you. Sorry, it is public question time, and we do have standing orders that we must obey, so I'm sorry if that's not quite what you expected. I will ask from the floor one more time, are there any other further questions from the public this evening? If not, then we'll move into item number 6, which is petitions and approved deputations. And these deputations are in order that they are received. And deputation number 1 is from Ms. Gretchen Haxton. Hang on, that's not spelt right, I don't think. Sorry, Gretchen.
Good afternoon, councillors and community. My name is Gretchen Haxton and I am a proud owner of 1 Haslak Circuit. I have been a resident in Haslak Homestead since 2013 on my beautiful 30-acre property. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today about my proposal. It's a small, family-run reception venue. This project means a great deal to me and my family. I've poured everything into it, financially, physically and emotionally, because I truly believe this will be a very positive and beautiful and lasting thing to our community. Our vision for Haslak Homestead is to create a peaceful, rural-style venue where locals can celebrate life milestones and community events, surrounded by nature and good neighbours. We want to be a place to reflect the spirit of North Dandalup, warm, welcoming and community-minded. When I first began this journey, I was advised that because of it being a small scale and low impact of what I was creating, the planning approval for an additional use was not immediately required. Special occasion permits would be sufficient. Acting on that advice, I personally funded the entire build, invested over $500,000, creating the venue and the grounds to a very high standard for the care of the neighbours and the environment. I've done this completely on my own, and I'm now financially struggling to open my doors and secure my future on good faith. Once I was informed the formal approval was required, I immediately committed to doing everything properly and transparently through the correct process of planning. Unfortunately, the process so far has not been as fair or accurate as I'd hoped. There have been a number of procedural inconsistencies and misunderstandings that have caused confusion, backlash and distress to myself and to the community. I've outlined these details by email to the council, so councillors, I respectfully ask that you please refer to the correspondence which I set out, specifically procedural concerns by the Planning Development Act of 2005 and the Local Planning Scheme Regulations of 2015. Most importantly, this process has shown me how vital, clear, transparent and respectful communication is, both to applicants and to the community, to ensure fairness and trust in our planning department. But today I want to focus on the positive because that's what this project is about. Hasluck Homestead directly supports the Shire of Murray Council planning for 2023 to 2033, which encourages small businesses, tourism and community connections while protecting rural character. Our venue is modest, respectful and compliant in every aspect. We've proposed to operate fortnightly, closing our doors at 9:30 on weekdays and 11 on weekends. We've invested in professional acoustic insulation on walls, ceilings and glass, and our traffic impact is minimal, far less than the previous approval subdivision roads running through our property from Hasluck to Hamlin and Bollyong, which would have purposed for thousands of cars a day in our area. We also want to give back beyond private events. We plan on hosting several community events each year, family days, local fundraisers and small markets, to bring people together and celebrate that makes our town special. At the moment, North Dandalup only has a town hall, while all surrounding areas already have similar established venues operating successfully. Our growing community deserves the same opportunity to have a beautiful private space where people can gather, celebrate and connect close to home. Our goal is to strengthen, not divide our community. So tonight I stand here just as a business owner, but someone deeply invested in this place and the people. All I'm asking is that this proposal be judged on its merit and on the truth. Therefore, I respectfully ask the Council to recognise that submissions based on incorrect or misleading public information should not be given weight in this decision making. Ensure that any further assessments is based on true hours, event frequencies and full acoustic and traffic compliance. Direct the Planning Department to review its internal process for accuracy, transparency and most importantly, communication. All of this proposal allow this proposal to move forward to the next stage so it can be properly and fairly assessed. This project is about community I've gone dry. Sustainability and opportunity. It's about creating a space that locals are proud of, something that enhances North Dandalup character while supporting local jobs, local small businesses and tourism in our region. Thank you for your time and for your service to our community, and I look forward to you allowing me to move forward in this project together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Haxton. Councillors, does anyone have any questions of Ms Haxton at this point? If you don't mind, we'll grab some clarification as councillors need it whilst you're there.
Yep.
Councillor Rogers.
In our reports and in our correspondence, it states that you originally applied for a wedding venue back in October of 2023,
Correct?
and you were advised that you could not build a wedding venue on that property in that zoning.
No.
And so you withdrew your application?
No, that was, what I was told was that they were actually redoing the scheme amendment, and that it would be in my benefit, that the scheme amendment would actually be to my advantage regarding the venue. That's why we withdrew it, so that's why I waited, and then I did it again. That's why.
When you then reapplied, it's on our documentation that you applied again to build an outbuilding, and an outbuilding was approved. A wedding venue was not the application, it was an outbuilding.
Yep, that's correct.
And the first
Because
notation...
I didn't need to do that until I got approval.
You got approval to build an outbuilding,
Yeah,
and the first condition on that approval was that the outbuilding is not to be used for commercial, industrial or human habitation.
Unless approved by the planning department.
That's right.
Yep,
But
which-
under our current scheme amendment, you were advised that they couldn't approve it
No, I wasn't.
through the local government because we don't have the power to approve that under our... That's correct.
No, that's
the Director
not
of Planning?
true. I was not informed that.
An application, through Shire President, an application was lodged for development approval for a reception, for a wedding venue, reception centre, in October 2023. The applicant was advised that there's no discretion under the planning scheme to approve that land use, and they were advised to withdraw the application.
Because the scheme amendment was under review and it was being changed. And
That's
it
the
would be,
current scheme amendment that we're dealing with,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
I'm just trying to get a timeline of where we're at from your
Okay.
point of view, our point of view. So then, in April, you had your application for the outbuilding, and you've got that, and you've built that as an outbuilding. But 5 months after that, the approval, like you've had the approval, 5 months later, it's a whole wedding venue is what's being built
Yep.
under the application of an outbuilding.
It says I've not used it as a wedding venue, and I've been told by the president when he came out to the reception that I didn't have to build that until I'd actually got a permit. I was advised that at the time that it was that low scale. I actually put in for a special occasions permit because I was advised that I could do that and have venues, have events there.
I think my memory of that approval, the conversation about that special occasion permit was because you were holding a wedding open day and
Yep.
you didn't have approval to do that as an event space, and that was possibly one of the mechanisms to allow that to go ahead.
So public space and stuff like that, you can't do that, is that right? Private property, you can't do events in.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that event was created, and because this hadn't been approved as an event space, I think that mechanism is for one-off, that mechanism that we're talking about of the one-off, the event.
Okay, well,
they're not a permanent solution to that. That is a one-off, like a market once a year somewhere. That's
Correct.
not to be used as the planning.
Correct, but I was informed, and I've got an email from, and also phone conversations from the special occasions team stating that my venue was that low impact, I didn't need a special occasions, and that I could have weddings there, and that in the future, if I wanted to continue, if I was getting weddings, that I would be able to apply for a permanent application to go through the Shire.
Which is where we're at now.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
So I was under the impression that I could, because it was so small and I was only going to have one every couple of months or one every whatever, that I only had to do a special occasions permit every time I did that until the business built up, and then I would go for a permit. In the meantime, I was doing it. That's what I was told.
And so moving forward, that would be the intention of this is you only want to do one wedding a fortnight.
Correct.
Because then there's other things that have been said that indicate there'll be other events on top of.
For locals, with special
doesn't matter who
for
attends, they're
special
just events.
occasions, permits. So I'd be doing special occasion permits where I'd actually be involving it's for the locals, like Pinjarra does with their heritage, and lots of other venues do, where they actually apply for special occasions to have carols by candlelight and things like that. Open cinema nights. They do it in South Yandarup, they do it in Pinjarra, they do it in Dwellingup. All of these places do that.
I'm just trying to understand if it was said that it couldn't be done, and then information was then provided on this process of a scheme amendment, and that was provided back in October of 2023, that nothing happened with that process, but then another building application came through for an outbuilding that's then been fully built as an event centre, not an outbuilding. Even if it's not being moved as an outbuilding, nothing about that shed is beautiful. The space is amazing, but it's definitely not what I would consider an outbuilding at a rural zoned property. I don't understand why this part of the process wasn't done when you're advised that's the part of the process back in 2023, before this building
No, I
was even
wasn't
built.
advised that. I was just told that the scheme amendment was getting altered and it would be to
No.
my benefit.
There was documentation on the 24th of October 2023 that
I
the
have
Shire
that email.
provided with information on how to lodge a scheme amendment,
Correct.
which is this process we're at now. I don't understand how that wasn't done then instead of building it and now doing it. Feels back to front to me.
I agree. And it's my bad, and I'm out of pocket by $500,000 because I misunderstood the process. And that's where we're at. I can't look backwards, I can only look forwards. And I've invested a lot of money, and I do comply with everything. I do comply with everything. I have got an acoustic report. I have a traffic report that states that I meet the criteria. I understand it's not the zoning, but my zoning for my subdivision, when I actually bought my property, there was no property around me. I was lucky to see a car a week. And now all these people have come in with opinions that they don't like, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but everyone's been quite nasty about how they're going about it as well. I'm not doing this to ruin anybody's life. I'm doing it to improve our community. We have nothing in North Dandenong at all. We have no facilities. We have a town hall. That's it. Are you saying that for the rest of history, North Dandenong is only going to have a town hall and nothing else, and a stock feeder? And all these people are coming into our community. We've got thousands of subdivisions happening around our area. I think it's actually going to be going right up to Corrier Road, as far as I'm aware. So all these people are coming in, and there is nowhere for them to have a private function or apart from the town hall. So my question is, are we staying as what we are and nothing else is going to progress?
I think the feedback, how I've read it from a lot of the submissions, is people live in that rural area for that very reason, that it's a rural
There's a lot of
amenity and
people-
there's not a lot of
Correct.
change. They enjoy that part of it.
But also this is my turn now. I won't talk when you're having your turn.
I think, Ms Haxton, we might. I just want to try and avoid getting in too much of a debate
Correct.
with the gallery. So we may wrap up there if we can.
Can I just say one thing?
You can.
The submissions, they were all based on misinformation, and a lot of people were jumping on the wagon. Our acoustic report stated that we were doing 2 to 3 times a week, and that was incorrect. That was just a worst case scenario. It was not our proposal. And a lot of submissions, if you read them, had that on there. Also, people are not aware that there was actually meant to be a road going through our property, and they were pissed that our cul-de-sac was not going to remain was going to be a busy road, which in fact it's purposed originally for 3,000 cars to go through a day. So people are not mindful of that. If I'd done the subdivision, that would have been happening. They would have had trucks, and that would have been the quickest way for people to go from A to B from 3 different subdivisions. Not just Hamlin Road would be full of people coming all the way from all the other side, and vice versa. So, and also the back part. There was 3 roads that were meant to join in my property. So it wouldn't have been a quiet lifestyle. We've got a mine site up the road that has big trucks coming past our street every day. So, en masse. So, anyway, thank you.
Sorry, can I just interrupt? A woman here is actually filming Gretchen while she's speaking
Oh,
without
wow.
her knowledge.
I
She's
can't-
been
I
filming the entire time. Can you please turn that phone off and delete it?
I'd
Immediately?
actually like to see you delete it because of my job.
Public record anyway.
That's illegal.
Yeah, you're not allowed to film anyone without their knowledge, particularly in a public setting.
It's probably advisable if you can delete it. It's all on the public record. It's all on the live stream anyway. It's available to anybody at any time. So, but if that's going to keep peace in the chamber, then if you can delete that, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay, if we can take our seats, please. We now move on to our second Thank you, Ms Haxton, for that. We now move on to our second deputation, which is Mr Benedict McCarthy. You're able to address the council, please.
Good evening, councillors, Shire staff and guests. My name is Benedict McCarthy and I'm the applicant for the reception venue. Before I begin, may I just congratulate all the newly elected members. Congratulations. Subject site is over 12 hectares, which has allowed the proposed venue to be set well away from all the neighbours. The site is in the middle of a significant revegetation program that includes external boundaries and within the subject site. Given the significant size of the site and the revegetation program, it's our belief that the site is able to successfully hold and manage a small part-time reception venue with little or no impact to surrounding neighbours. As you're already aware, the landowner Gretchen has completed some internal fit-out works on the approved outbuilding to facilitate her intentions. What these works demonstrate in Gretchen's commitment to a high-quality venue with a very high level of acoustic construction to ensure very low noise impacts on the neighbours. That being said, we have taken note of the concerns raised by the community and made substantial improvements to the reception venue as proposed and indicated in the officer's report. Such improvements include, but are not limited to, new digital technology to moderate the amplified sound. This includes moderating music, voices and impulse sounds, which is very important when you read the acoustic report. Acoustic barriers, stricter operational controls, reduced frequency and earlier finishing times are also proposed. It is fitting at this point in time to point out to the council that the building has already been fitted out to the high standard with acoustic installation with walls and ceilings as previously mentioned. The Shire's Planning Department and Shire acoustic consultant actually incorrectly advised through the public consultation period that it was simply a shed with plasterboard. Unfortunately, this incorrect information has also resulted in unnecessary, severe social media campaign against Gretchen, which saw her receive multiple personal attacks from the local community, which is incredibly disappointing. Whilst we did not dismiss genuine concerns from the community, many objections received against this proposal were largely based on the social media campaign, which was obviously based on the acoustic incorrect information. It is very important to note that the vast majority of objections received are from residents that do not live anywhere near the subject property. We also acknowledge that there were genuine objections and concerns raised during the informal advertising, which we believe we have acceptably addressed through the revised proposal. However, it is also equally important that the Shire and the Council are to note that 30% of the submissions received were in support of the proposal. As many of you have sat on this council for a long time, I'm sure you will agree it is very rare to receive so many letters of support for almost any proposals that come before council. This is a very strong indicator that there is strong community support for the proposal. Much of this support comes from the immediate neighbours too, who would receive the greatest impact. A community is more likely to object to anything they don't like, but will rarely take the time to support a proposal unless they truly believed in it. This is the overwhelming case in this instance. Arguably, a letter of support is worth more than 3 submissions of objection. On a weighting system, it could be argued that despite the social media campaign, there is great community support for this proposal than there is against it. As a result, so that fair and reasonable assessment can be made on the community's true opinion of this proposal, we sincerely request of the Council that you approve our request to progress into the next stage of formal advertising based on the current proposal, not the previous incorrect proposal. We also take this opportunity to confirm that whilst any approval of the reception centre will be in place, no further subdivision of the subject property will be undertaken. To provide Council assurance of this, we are happy for a caveat to be placed on the title preventing any further subdivision whilst a reception venue is active. The Council report has also raised concerns relating to traffic, inundation and amenity. All these concerns can be more than adequately addressed through further refining of the proposal and management systems. The existing building is more than capable of being brought up to BCA standards, and any inundation concerns have already been addressed with the stormwater drainage system that was constructed in 2022, upgraded to the Shire's specification and satisfaction. Now for the positives. This proposal is an example of local people starting local businesses for their local community. The Shire recently won awards where such initiatives have been encouraged, nurtured and grown. This proposal is no different. It will provide employment for locals, source equipment and products from local businesses and provide a new venue for small local events. The venue is a large, open and attractive space for small daytime events as well that are community driven and community attended. Gretchen has seen a need within the North Dandalup area for this kind of service and has worked tirelessly to make it a reality. I'm sure all of you who have been to site to see what she has done can agree the results of her hard work are very impressive. The photos which we distributed to you earlier give you an indication of the quality of the venue she has built. It is not a big venue and rarely would it meet the capacity of 100 people. She lives on the site and will be on hand at all times to ensure that every event runs smoothly and the neighbours and community come first every time. We understand a reception centre is not a permitted use, which is why we are here this evening. We ask that you consider this proposal on its merits and that at the very least endorse the proposal tonight to be put out to the community in a formal capacity based on the low impact that the proposal is. And if it pleases the Council and gives assurance to your decision-making process, we are happy for any approval to be on a trial basis. Limit an approval to 2 years so that real-time results can be demonstrated. If after that time the impact of the community is unacceptable, the approval will expire and not be renewed. However, if the community benefit is demonstrated and the impact low, as we believe it will be, a further approval can be considered. Thank you for your time and your consideration of this proposal.
Thank you, Mr McCarthy. Councillors, are there any brief questions of Mr McCarthy? Thanks. No, thank you very much for your time. Councillors, we also have a late request for a deputation from Ms Abby Grenfell of North Dandalup. Because it is late, due to our standing orders, we need to put it to a council vote. I need a mover and a seconder to accept. Councillor Rogers and Councillor Kirkham will second that. We'll put that to the vote. All those in favour? Against? Are you in favour or against? In favour? Okay, that's passed unanimously. Ms Grenfell, you can please come up and address the council and just confirm that you do live in North Dandalup.
Hi, I'm Abby Grenfell and I live at 187 Trotglade, North Dandalup.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for allowing me to stand forward and speak. So I just want to say that we would like it noted, we are not opposing the reception centre. We are opposing the location of it based off the information provided by the applicant and their amended proposed scheme they have forwarded to Shire. Our objections are based off the following. Traffic Impact Statement 6.0. The developer is estimating there to be an additional 102 vehicles entering this estate via Hardman or Northern entrance on any event day with peak hour volumes of approximately 46 to 52 vehicles during arrival and departure. They have also estimated a departure of 67 vehicles from midnight. The operating times have been stated as 2 to 12 p.m, 2 to 3 days a week. This will definitely increase traffic in the area and will have an impact on pedestrian safety. There are no pedestrian or cycle paths. There is also no street lighting, which makes visibility low in the evenings. Now, a peer review acoustic report was conducted on the 24th of June 2025, and from this review, there were concerns regarding the proposed development, especially for the 20 properties surrounding the venue. They are noise generated from loud music, nighttime noise generated by vehicles leaving the site, noise from patron activity within and around function centre, and low frequency noise generated by loud music. Now, wedding events or reception centres typically involve loud music, amplified sound systems and large gatherings late into the evening. We believe this would introduce unacceptable noise into what is already currently a peaceful environment. Regular events, especially during the evenings and weekends, would fundamentally change the nature of the area from a quiet neighbourhood to a commercial event zone. This would diminish the quality of life for residents. I am also aware that property values are not a planning consideration, but it is important to recognise the changes in character of the area. Increased traffic, noise and loss of residential amenity will definitely make properties less attractive to buyers, especially the properties within the 1 kilometre radius of the centre. We feel this application that has been submitted has been done so with minimal engagement with local residents, and we do find this concerning. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms Grenfell. Councillors, are there any questions of Ms Grenfell? No, I think that you're welcome to sit. Thank you very much for coming and having your say. I
My job that I have, I work for the Department of Correctional Services, and that is unsafe for me to have somebody have my phone, video of my phone put on Facebook.
all
Backlash that I've had on social media.
I understand your concern. I also note that we are in a public place, and that my power, I can only request in good faith that what we've asked has been done. If the only place that you can go with this from here, I can't enforce it, is to the police. So I think, I'm hoping that in good faith the lady has deleted it. I can't enforce anything other than that. We are in a public place. The meeting is live streamed, so correct. Correct. That's your discretion to do that. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't enforce it. So I understand that, but we've got a meeting we need to proceed with. Thank you. We move on to item 7, confirmation of the minutes. 7.1, ordinary council meeting 25th of September 2025. Councillors, we have the recommendation there. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Carter and Councillor Lee to second. Do we have any comments or questions or alterations? That being the case, we'll put the item to the vote. All those in favour? It's passed unanimously. Item 7.2, Bushfire Advisory Committee, 22nd of October 2025. Likewise, we have a mover. Can we have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Rogers to move. Councillor Kirkham to second. Any comments or questions in relation to that? We'll put the item to the vote then. All those in favour? It's passed unanimously. Item 8, announcements by the presiding member, will be attached to the minutes, and item 9, announcements by elected members, will also be attached to the minutes. Item 10, acknowledgement of receipt of disclosure of interests. Do I have any disclosures at all? Okay, we'll move on. Item 11, reception of minutes and recommendations of committees held since previous meeting of council. 11.1, appointment of the Chief Bushfire Control Officer. So, councillors, we have got an officer's recommendation there, and the Bushfire Advisory Committee recommendation was that Michael Webster be endorsed as the Chief Bushfire Control Officer. Do I have a mover for that recommendation, please? Councillor Willis and Councillor Rogers, happy to second. Do I have any comments or questions, councillors, in relation to that item? No? We'll put that item to the vote then. All those in favour? It's passed unanimously. Okay, item 12, planning and sustainability. 12.1, proposed amendment to number 333 to the local planning scheme number 4, additional use reception centre at lot 9002 or 1 Hasluck Circuit, North Dandalup. Councillors, we have an officer's recommendation. Do I have a mover, please? Councillor Rogers, and a seconder, Councillor Willis. Councillor Rogers, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yes.
After going through the report and the submissions that we've received, I'm in full support of the officer's recommendation. The main concerns that have come through the submission process with the public are related to noise and traffic and how they will affect the rural amenity of the area and the people who live nearby. While I do acknowledge that the applicant has tried to address those concerns, some of the proposed solutions are not practical. The report mentions that the event manager plans to lock the glass sliding doors during events to help manage noise levels. If this building is approved as a wedding venue, it is my understanding that it then becomes a Class 9B building under the building code. That means all exits need to be immediately usable in an emergency and doors have to be able to be opened without a key or special knowledge. So therefore, locking those doors while people are inside as a way to address noise levels would actually breach the building code that this building would then fall under. In relation to the issues related to the traffic, it's been suggested that guests would mainly rely on taxis, Ubers or buses to get to and from the venue. The reality is that North Dandalup is approximately 20 to 30 minutes from Mandurah, where those services are based. Uber does list North Dandalup as an available area that they service, but even on their own website, it states that the wait times can be long and drivers aren't always available. I don't think it's realistic to expect these services to handle large event traffic, especially at night. An event venue is not a permitted use under our current planning scheme for this location, and the applicant was advised of that back in October 2023 before this venue was built. Approving this scheme amendment would, in my view, set a precedent for other non-permitted uses to follow, which could fundamentally change the rural character of this area. From what I've read in the submissions, that's not what the majority of North Dandalup community wants. We have asked for their feedback, and I think it's important that we now listen.
Thank you, Councillor Rogers. Councillor Willis, would you like to speak, please?
Firstly, I'd just like to second everything that Councillor Rogers has just said, and add that I do feel for Gretchen and the visible stress that she's under. I acknowledge that Gretchen put a lot of effort into her submissions, and definitely the space that she has created is visually beautiful. Quite some months ago, a number of us councillors, including myself, visited Gretchen's place with Greg Delahunty and really were able to answer a lot of questions, and I am sure that she was given correct information at that time. We also got to look at how close the other residents were to the proposed venue. Overall, we went out to a public consultation process, and overall the submissions, sorry, I'm going to start again. The overall majority of the submissions that came in as part of the public consultation process made it very clear that they highly valued the amenity of the semi-rural lifestyle. Gretchen's application has then been amended after the public consultation process and does go some ways to mitigate some of the noise factors and has reduced the number of events to 1 per fortnight. But ultimately, managing and then enforcing these sort of complex noise mitigation strategies, and with at an end point the large amount of cars coming and leaving from that venue, it would be quite difficult for the Shire or anybody to enforce that. Therefore, it would then adversely affect the residents. So for those reasons, I cannot support the proposed amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Willis. Is there anyone likely to be opposing this officer's recommendation? Are there any further comments or questions? Or yes, Councillor Carter.
I would also like to speak for the recommendation. This is a beautiful area, Mr. President, and it's lovely within the Shire, and the venue itself is amazing. I appreciated the opportunity to visit the venue along with the Acting Planning and Sustainability Officer and some of my councillor colleagues back in January of this year. On the day that I visited, I was able to hear some road and environmental noise from the surrounding area at that time. This, coupled with the concerns raised by the independent peer review of the acoustic report, has me concerned. Furthermore, being such a tranquil area, I understand the concerns that have been received during the public consultation period relating to increased traffic noise within the area. I've seen firsthand how difficult it can be to close venues when people are enjoying themselves. And I understand that the proponent has amended their proposal to include concluding events at 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays and 9:30 on Sundays and weekdays. I have concerns that attendees who are enjoying themselves, as I'm sure they would be, it will be difficult for the venue to close at those times.
Thank you, Councillor Carter. Are there any other comments or questions? Officers, do you have any further information that you'd like to supply to Council following the deputations at all? No? If there's no more questions, I'll put this item to the vote. Oh, sorry, Councillor Rogers, you get the right to reply. My bad? No? Okay. Being no further discussion, we'll put this item to the vote then. All those in favour? That's passed unanimously. Okay, we move on to item 12.2, proposed amendment number 336 to local planning scheme number 4 to rezone lot 39 Lakes Road, North Dandalup from rural to special rural. We have the officer's recommendation there. Do I have a mover for that recommendation? Councillor Carter and Councillor Rogers to second. Councillor Carter, would you like to speak to the recommendation?
No, that's fine, thank you.
Councillor Rogers, no. Are there any comments or questions, councillors, in relation to this item? If there's no comments or questions, we'll put the item to the vote then. All those in favour? That's passed unanimously. That's all right. Item 12.3, Shire of Murray Public Health Plan 2026 to 2030. We have the recommendation there. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Lee, Councillor Black to second. Any comments or questions, councillors? Councillor Lee, would you like to speak? Oh, sorry. Councillor Carter, have you got a question?
Not a question, just a quick statement.
Okay, Councillor Black, before Councillor Carter talks, have you got... No, Councillor Carter, you have the floor.
I was a little saddened to read that the Shire of Murray has the third lowest health status within the South Metro region. And as the local government, I think we have a responsibility to support the community to lead a healthy lifestyle. So I agree that the proposal should go ahead.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions, councillors? If not, we'll put this item to the vote. All those in favour? That also is passed unanimously. Item 13, corporate governance, 13.1. And apologies to the gallery, this can get a little bit drawn out. So if this is about allocating councillors to various committees. So this could go for a little while. So if you are if your item has been dealt with and you'd like to leave, you're welcome to, but you're also welcome to stay. I don't want you to leave if you want to stay, but I thought I'd give you the opportunity. Okay, so here we have appoints all council members to the Audit and Risk Committee for a term expiring at the next ordinary local government election. Item 2, appoints councillor whoever. So how's best to handle this, Mr. CEO? How do we normally do this bit?
Technically, you'd probably suspend standing orders to allow open debate.
Okay.
If you want to do it technically.
Okay. So do I have a mover to suspend standing orders? Councillor Willis and Councillor Carter to second. All those in favour? That's passed. Okay, so we've stepped out of standard standing orders now. And now we have to try and allocate us all to various committees. So in the report, councillors, you will have seen who was listed as the previous people in these positions. I am happy to nominate myself for the presiding member of the Audit and Risk Committee, but I'm also happy for somebody else to do that as well if they wish.
I think it makes sense, Councillor McClarty, that you do be the presiding member as president, and it makes sense for Councillor Rogers to be the deputy, and I can't see any need to change that.
Okay, that's fine. So that will just, don't have to vote on it at this stage, because we'll do that when we go back into the format of the meeting. Item 3 is to appoint 4 people to the Chief Executive Officer's Performance Review Committee.
It doesn't have to be 4.
It doesn't have to be 4, but we're capping it at 4.
That's what we.
Yep.
3 or 4.
Yep. So again, you would have seen in the recommendation who held those positions prior. Once again, I'm wishing to put my hand forward to be on that committee. Councillor Rogers, and if there are other councillors that are resolute that they would like to be considered for the position, then don't be deterred if the positions are all filled. Put your hand up and we'll go through a process to allocate those roles. But so, okay, we've got me and Councillor Rogers. Who else? Councillor Willis, Councillor Kirkham and Councillor Cashman. Okay, so how, Mr CEO, do we...
You'd have a vote.
We'd have a vote?
I'm happy to.
You're happy to withdraw? Sure? Okay, righto. So we have McClarty, Rogers, Willis and Cashman. And then 4 appoints somebody as the presiding member and somebody as the deputy presiding member of that committee. And again, I'm happy to nominate as the presiding member, and I, in the same vein as the other committees, I feel the Deputy Shire President is probably a fitting person to act as deputy in that capacity as well. So while we're out of standing orders, keep going down to the next. We just got to remember we've got to come back to this item. Now we've got item 13.2. We need to appoint a councillor to the Bushfire Advisory Committee. Okay. Councillor Rogers, is anyone else wanting to nominate for that role? If not? Okay. And for item 2, we need someone for the LEMAC committee, and Councillor Kirkham is happy to nominate for that. If I'm going too fast and anyone doesn't feel as though they've had the opportunity, please sing out. 13.3, appointment of delegates to external organisations, committees and groups. So the first one is for the Walga zone. We need another councillor with me on that. Okay, Councillor Rogers, and can we have 2 councillors? No, incorrect. The recommendation states that the Chief Executive Officer will act as the first proxy, and Councillor somebody is going to be the second proxy. Councillor Willis, you happy to do that? Okay, that's great.
I'm happy not to be a proxy, but we've found often councillors who can't attend at late notice. It's hard to find that proxy within 24 hours, so means I have to go now.
Yeah, I know. I won't be a lone soldier. Number 2 nominates 2 councillors to the Outer Metropolitan Development Assessment Panel. I am happy to nominate for that, and Councillor Rogers is happy to nominate for that. It is actually quite, it's not the type of thing that you really like to chop and change on and off. It's quite detailed and you have to do training and whatnot, so I think that's probably quite good. and Councillor Kirkham's going to nominate to be one alternative. And is there anybody keen to be a second alternative? Okay. Just be mindful that that even as an alternative, you still need to do the training, which is all online, I believe. Because I did mine during COVID, so I did mine from home. I think you can do it on a Zoom. Yeah.
Is it like a 1 day?
Oh, it's not even. Not even. Okay, no, number 3 appoints somebody to the Southwest Regional Road Group, and this position, I've done it before. It is actually important that we have representation on that committee. Councillor Pike was our delegate prior, and his work commitments didn't allow him the flexibility to go that often. And so we have, Mr Smith will attest, we have had very, very poor attendance at that committee in the last 2 years. Yes. All of those meetings are held at the Dardanup Shire Council, and often Mr Smith is going, and I often used to go with Mr Smith. He would be the chauffeur. They are on a morning, and they're 4 times a year? 3 times a year. 3 times a year. So do I have somebody that would like to nominate for that? It is Councillor Cashman. It's actually... Sorry? If you're happy to nominate for the position, then I think that'd be great. It actually is a very interesting committee to be on. And can I have a proxy, please? Councillor Lee? Great, thank you. 4 appoints... a member and a deputy member for the mosquito management group. Do I have... That would be appreciated. So Councillor Kirkham's nominating for that, and if there's somebody else would like to be the proxy for that, that's fine. But if there is nobody else, I'm happy to act as proxy on that committee. Okay. 5 appoints to the District Emergency Management Committee, which is a 2-year appointment.
I think that's the LEMAC chair normally.
Yes. Yep. Okay, so Councillor Kirkham to that one. The Parent Naturalist Partnership, we have... do we have a nomination for that one? Councillor Willis did it last.
If nobody else wants to, I will do it again, but I'm happy to.
Are you keen on it, Steve?
I have been before.
Okay. If nobody else is putting their hand up, Councillor Willis, are you willing to take that role?
Yep, I'll do it.
Okay, and Councillor Lee as proxy. That one there again isn't particularly onerous because you can actually do that online, as I found out at the AGM, where I drove myself all the way to Bunbury for it and found I could have done it online. Item 7 is a council representative on the Alcoa Pinjarra Community Consultation Network. Councillor George, very good. And a proxy for Councillor George, Councillor Carter. Councillor Carter, you did it before. You happy with being the proxy?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. 8 appoints somebody to the Keysbrook Community Consultation Group. Councillor Black. And do we have a proxy? Yeah. Councillor Lee as proxy. Uh, 9, local government representative for the Peel Harvey Catchment Council Board.
But it's only a nomination for...
It's only a
doesn't mean you
nomination.
get on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, do I have anybody that would like to nominate as a board member for the Peel Harvey Catchment Council? Councillor Black? Okay, yep, that's okay. And we also need a delegate for the Peel Harvey Biosecurity Group. Anyone? Councillor Cashman? Great.
Did you want to do the Peel Development Commission one as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So another one, councillors, that has come up is similar to the Peel Harvey Catchment Council, is for the Peel Development Commission. We've received correspondence from the PDC for a councillor to nominate to be on the board. Doesn't mean they'll get on, but
I too expressed to the CEO the other day that I too would like to be considered to be nominated. Can we nominate more than one?
I guess we can, because it's a nomination. It says, the wording in the letter is a council endorsed candidate. So it could be two.
I've applied once prior, and Mike Walmsley took that position, and I think he was very good for the role. So I am keen to also look at that. Okay, thank you. Oh, gee, I hope I can get it now, because you might have.
You can actually nominate as a community member as well, in a different category. So.
Okay, so that's those ones. Now we move down to working groups. So we have the Murray Aged Access and Inclusion Group. Do I have somebody that would be willing to, Councillor Lee as the member for that, and do I have someone that would be happy to be a proxy? Councillor Willis, thank you. Item 2, selection panel for Australia Day. Okay, so Belinda has just informed me that the people that put their hand up for the Australia Day Awards will need to be available sometime sort of in the 2-week mark, because we need to do that. So we can have up to 4, we don't have to have 4, but we can have up to 4. So who would like to do that? Councillor Carter, Councillor Black, Councillor George and Councillor Willis. Great. Nobody else? That's good. That's good. 3, we have Community Assistance Partnership Fund panel. There's 2 positions there. Again, the officers do the recommendation, and it's just ratification or suggestions from the elected members. Councillor Lee and Councillor Black. Great. Murray Regional Equestrian Centre Management Working Group. Do we have Councillor Rogers and Councillor Kirkham? Excellent. And the Civic Centre Precinct Working Group. I'm on there, and Deputy President Rogers is on there, and Councillor Willis has been on there. Are you happy to continue? Great. Yes. Who was there a 4th?
It was David Bolt before.
Oh, it was David Bolt. Okay. So there is still a vacancy on that. If Councillor George, you'd like to do that? Excellent. That, I believe, brings us through to all of the allocations. Does every councillor feel as though they've had their opportunity to be involved how they'd like to be before we move back into our formal proceedings?
Anybody want to appoint Karen Naturalist, just in case of putting it out there?
there is actually one there. There is actually one that's not listed there that I've been on now for a few years, and that is the Rail Heritage Foundation.
Oh,
Yeah. So the Shire of Murray is represented on that, as is the Shire of Boddington, together with, is it Ian Willis? And so a couple of Hotham Valley people. And that, well, like a lot of these other ones, doesn't meet very often, and if they do, decisions are made by email, but they generally meet at least once a year. And I found it quite beneficial, and I'd like to continue on that anyway.
okay. Yep, okay, so that will be on external, working groups, I guess. Is it
It's an external one.
working group?
No.
No.
I'm not
13.3, external organisation
Oh.
committee.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, and I'm not sure if it's relevant, but the Dwelling Up Community Village wasn't listed, and that was one from last year.
That they've advised that they're not going to continue
Oh, okay.
that committee. So.
Yep, no problems.
So Councillor Lee, can you just help Belinda with that line there? What's the committee?
Rail Heritage Foundation.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
Right. And I guess if we've got that in there and you're endorsed for it, then you'll just continue doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, Colin Taylor's on that as well.
Okay.
He's the treasurer.
Okay. Okay,
I did
councillors,
offer
like
the-
I said at the start, that is very clunky. I don't quite know if there's an easier way of doing that. But so long as everyone's comfortable that they've had their opportunity, we'll move back into our formal meeting procedures. So do I have a mover, please? Councillor Carter, Councillor Kirkham, all those in favour? That's passed unanimously, thank you. Okay, so where are we going back to?
So we need to actually now...
No, go and move them in a second,
Yeah,
yes, yep. So we're back to 13.1, I believe.
Do them on block if you want.
Actually, yes, we may do that. 13. If councillors are happy, we'll move 13.1, 2, 3 and 4 on block. So can I have a mover? Councillor Lee, Councillor Black. Any comments or questions at all in relation to that? Excellent. All right, we'll move that then. All those in favour? That's passed unanimously. Thank you. And now we're off to 13, 14.
13.5.
Okay. 13.5, monthly financial report, September 2025. We have the officer's recommendation there. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Carter, Councillor Black to second. Any comments or questions at all, councillors? Okay, we'll move that item. All those in favour? That's passed unanimously. 13.6, payment from municipal and trust funds, September 2025. Mover, please. Councillor Rogers, Councillor Lee. Any comments or questions? Okay, we'll move the item. All those in favour? That's passed unanimously. 14.1, Heron Point Campground Management Review and Options Paper. Do I have a mover, please? Councillor Lee, Councillor Carter. Is there anyone likely to be against this item? Councillor Lee, would you like to speak?
No, that's fine. As we discussed earlier before council, I think it needs to be undertaken so that we know where we stand and hopefully some good comes of it.
Great, thank you. Councillor Carter?
I did write more, but I've changed my mind, and instead I'll just say, look, I look forward to reading the results of the management review and options paper.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions, councillors? If not, we'll put the item to the vote. All those in favour? It's passed unanimously. Item 16, 16.1, delegated development application decisions, September 2025, are attached for information. 16.2, Council Plan 25-26 Quarterly Progress Report is also attached. (16.3) Outstanding Council Resolutions October 2025 is also attached for information. Item 17, business left over from a previous meeting is nil. 18, elected members' motions of which previous notice has been given is nil. Notice of motions for consideration at the following meeting. Are there any councillors have anything that they'd like to give notice for? No. Item 20, new business of an urgent nature approved by the presiding person or by decision of the meeting. I don't think there's anything there. I'm just thinking in my head. 1 second. What I'm here for the OCM. Do I need to apply for 2 weeks? The second half of November. Council duties. Okay.
It's only for a council meeting. Will you miss a council meeting?
No. Okay. I may just inform council in that I don't know that it needs to be minuted, but I will use this section to notify council that I will be not within the district for the second 2 weeks in November, but I will be back in time for the OCM. So Councillor Rogers is willing to take council duties from me for that period whilst I'm out of the area. So I don't believe there's a lot in that period. Okay, now we're moving through to 21, which is meeting closed to the public for confidential business. Councillor Rogers to move we go behind closed doors, and Councillor Kirkham. Thank you, Mr Beecham, for your attendance. You got to sit there a lot longer than normal tonight.
Yes, just about a record.
Yes, we now need to vote that we're going to move behind closed doors. All those in favour? That's passed unanimously. Read it. Okay, so now we're back on the live stream. The council resolution for this item, 21.1, is that council accepts the confidential assessment report, endorse A.E. Hoskins Building Services, ABN 14941679801 as the preferred tenderer for separable portion A, construction of the McClarty Sports Pavilion new change rooms at a tendered price of $2,082,317.30 exclusive of GST, and delegates the Chief Executive Officer to further negotiate any outcomes of the tender submission in accordance with the design, specification and tender rates in the schedule of rates for tender T25-8. 3. Rejects the tender submissions received for separable portion B, alterations to the Enzo Monaro change rooms due to a funding shortfall. And with that, councillors, we come to item 22, which is closure of the meeting. And I declare the meeting closed at 7:12 p.m. Thank you very much for your attendance.